Dear students, today we start first lesson, basic concepts of chemistry and chemical calculations. The first topic is classification of matter. Two more questions. What is matter? Consider any object in the universe, any material or substance. It will have two characteristics. Number one, the object will have a particular mass and the object will occupy a particular volume in the universe. So we call the object or material or substance as matter. So matter is an object or a material or a substance, whatever it may be. It will have a particular mass and it will occupy certain volume in the universe. Consider the chalk piece. The chalk piece has a particular mass and it occupies certain volume. So we call this substance, calcium carbonate, as a matter. Next, classification of matter. Three more questions. Based on physical state, we classify the matter into three, as we studied in lower classes: solids, liquids and gases. So a material or a substance or object may be in the form of a solid or liquid or gas. So the classification is called a physical classification. We just classify the matter based on the physical state. So we have three common physical states: solid, liquid and gas. This is first classification. Second classification is based on chemical composition. So based on chemical composition, matter may be a pure substance or it may be a mixture. So pure substances are of two types. One is element, another one is compound. And mixtures are of two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. So one by one we will study. So this classification is mainly based on chemical composition. Pure substances are nothing but the substances with definite properties. So physical properties like melting point, boiling point, the density will be a definite value. So the substance will be called as pure substance. Pure substances are of two types, elements and compounds. We have to know what is element. So as we studied in lower classes, elements are the building block of all materials in the universe. So still now we have discovered and prepared 118 elements. All the materials in the universe, both living as well as non-living beings, are made up of elements. So they are the building block of or fundamental units of all materials in the universe. And the elements are made up of same kind of atoms. When you take hydrogen element, the hydrogen element will be made up of same hydrogen atoms. Then existence of elements. Elements will exist in different form, like monoatomic or diatomic, triatomic, polyatomic and so on. To consider hydrogen. Hydrogen will always exist as H2 molecule. So this is an example of diatomic molecule. Right? So this is called a molecule of an element. As you studied in 9th, diatomic molecule is an example of molecule of an element. The same way, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, chlorine. So all these unstable atoms will exist in the form of molecule of an element. These are all diatomic molecule because two same atoms are joined by covalent bond. They are existing in the form of diatomic molecule. So elements may exist in the form of diatomic molecule are monoatomic species like noble gases, helium, neon, and if you take metals, copper, iron, gold. So element may be in the form of a single atom. So this is called a monoatomic species. So diatomic molecules or elements can exist in the form of triatomic molecule, O3, ozone, right? And it can exist in the form of polyatomic molecule like phosphorus, sulfur. These are all examples of polyatomic molecules. So all these are molecule of an element, right? So elements are the fundamental units of all material particles in the universe. So an element is a pure substance. Each element has a particular or definite physical properties. One particular element will exactly melts and boils at a particular temperature. Next pure substance is compound. So two or more different elements will join together to form a compound. Consider hydrogen molecule. This is a diatomic molecule. This is molecule of an element, hydrogen. Oxygen, diatomic molecule of element, oxygen. So different elements are combining together by a chemical bond. We get a new substance, we call it as compound. So hydrogen element combines with the oxygen element, it forms water molecule. So the newly formed substance is called chemical compound. So this is also a pure substance because it will have a definite property. Like elements, physical properties will be a definite value for compounds also. So hydrogen element and oxygen elements provided water molecule. When we observe the properties of water molecule will be totally different from properties of hydrogen and oxygen. So the constituent particles will be totally different from the formed compounds. So hydrogen has a particular chemical properties. Oxygen has particular properties. When these two elements are joining to produce water, the compound water will have different properties than the constituent particles, hydrogen and oxygen. So this is the characteristics of compound. For water, there is a particular melting point and boiling point. For hydrogen and oxygen, 0 degrees Celsius is not the melting point. 100 degrees Celsius is not the boiling point. When these two elements are forming water molecule, this will have 0 degrees Celsius as the melting point and 100 degrees Celsius as the boiling point. So compounds are the pure substances. The formed compounds will have a different property than the constituent particles. So more than two type of elements can combine to form molecule also, right? So here are two different elements are joining. More than two kind of elements can also combine to form compounds like glucose. Three type of elements have combined: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. We take sulfuric acid, hydrogen, sulfur, oxygen. Three different elements combined together to produce compound sulfuric acid. So elements and the compounds are the pure substances. They have definite physical property. Next one, mixers. So more than one pure substance will combine together to produce mixtures, right? So consider sodium chloride. This is a compound. Sodium element combines with the chlorine element by an ionic bond. It forms a compound sodium chloride. The same way hydrogen element combines with oxygen element, it forms water molecule. So we have two compounds, sodium chloride and water. Both these two are pure substances. Both are having definite properties. So two pure substances physically combined to produce a substance called a mixture. Right? without any chemical bonding between these two. There is no chemical interactions between these two. So we get a new substance called homogeneous mixture, called a solution. What is the another name for homogeneous mixture? Solution. Right? So salt is added in water, we get a solution. So this is called a mixture, homogeneous mixture. So pure substances combined together without any chemical interactions, we get mixtures. Based on the nature, mixtures are of two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. So when you observe homogeneous mixture, you cannot distinguish the particles. When salt is added in water, you will get a homogeneous mixture called a solution. So from the solution, you cannot distinguish the particles, sodium chloride particle and water particle. So the molecules cannot be distinguished in the mixture. So we call it homogeneous mixture and solution. If you take sodium chloride and potassium permanganate, if you mix these two pure substances, you will get a mixture, but the mixture will be a heterogeneous mixture. Because sodium chloride is a minute crystal, it is a colorless crystal. Potassium permanganate is having somewhat larger size crystal with pink color. So by observing the mixture, you can easily distinguish sodium chloride molecule or particle and the potassium permanganate particle. So the mixture will be heterogeneous mixture. Pure substances combine together to produce mixture. If the components are not distinguished, means the mixture will be homogeneous mixture, also called as solution. If the components are easily distinguished even by naked eye, we can call the mixture as heterogeneous mixture. So this is the classification of matter. So based on physical state, a matter may be a solid or liquid or gas. Based on chemical composition, a matter may be a pure substance or mixtures. So this is a 3 more question. Next we move into atomic mass. So how to calculate atomic mass? So elements are made up of same kind of atoms. So atoms are the smallest repeating particles in all materials. Right? All the elements are made up of same kind of atoms. Atoms are the simplest one. They are the building block. And we already studied diameter and mass of an atom. So when we observe the diameter, they are in terms of angstrom. One angstrom means 10 power minus 10 meter. Consider any atom, its diameter is very, very small. In terms of angstrom, that means 10 power minus 10 meter. And the weight or mass of an atom will be in terms of 10 power minus 27 kilogram or 10 power minus 31 gram. So the mass is almost negligible. So it is not easy to find the mass of an atom. So diameter of an atom as well as mass of an atom have given. So atoms will be in 10 power minus 27 kilogram mass. So highly difficult to find the mass of an atom. So that we are going to study relative atomic mass. So 2 more questions. Define relative atomic mass. As I told already, mass of an atom cannot be calculated easily, so that we are going to fix an atom as a standard one. We fix carbon 12 atom as a standard one. So according to UPAC, C12 is considered as a standard atom. Why we call this as a C12? Because carbon will exist in more than one isotopic form. We already studied in 9th. An element will exist in more than one isotopic forms. So carbon can exist in different isotopic forms. Atoms of same element. All the three are atoms of same carbon element with the same atomic number but different mass number. So these are all called isotopes. The only difference is number of neutrons. All the three atoms of carbon element are having same atomic number, which indicates number of electrons 6, number of protons 6, but number of neutrons different. 6 neutrons, 7 neutrons, 8 neutrons. Due to the difference in the number of neutrons, carbon element will exist in different isotopic forms. So according to UPAC, we fix C12 as a standard atom. Okay. So with the help of this standard atom, we are going to find the mass of other atoms. So the term is called the relative atomic mass. So we are going to relate atomic mass of an atom to the standard atom carbon 12. 12 is the mass number of isotope carbon. So mass of carbon 12 isotope is 12 AMU. One more question. So what is the mass of one carbon 12 isotope? 12 AMU. So AMU can also be written as U. So this is the unit for atomic mass. Okay. So what is the expansion of AMU? As we studied in 10th, atomic mass unit. This is unified atomic mass. Okay. So consider carbon 12 isotope. Mass of one carbon 12 isotope is fixed as 12 AMU. Next question, what is the value of AMU or U? Define the term atomic mass unit or unified atomic mass. So this is a 2 mark question. Atomic mass unit or unified atomic mass is defined as 1/12th or 1/12th of mass of carbon 12 isotope. Okay. So 1/12th of mass of carbon 12 isotope is called 1 AMU or 1 unified atomic mass. Okay. So first we have to know what is atomic mass. Mass of an atom is called atomic mass. They are in terms of 10 power minus 27 kilograms. So it is difficult to find atomic mass of an atom. So we are going to use a relative atomic mass value. To relate atomic mass of an atom with a standard atom, we fix carbon 12 isotope as a standard atom. This is recommended by UPAC. So when we take a carbon 12 isotope, one carbon 12 isotope atom has a mass 12 AMU, atomic mass unit or unified atomic mass. That means define the term 1 atomic mass. So 1 atomic mass unit is defined as 1/12th of mass of carbon 12 isotope and its value is 1.6605 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. 1 mark. Next. Relative atomic mass is defined as the ratio of average atomic mass of an atom to the unified atomic mass or atomic mass unit. So this is called a relative atomic mass. 2 more questions. It is the ratio of average atomic mass of an atom to the unified atomic mass. Take a hydrogen element or hydrogen atom. For this we can calculate the relative atomic mass. average atomic mass of hydrogen is 1.6736 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. Always we have to calculate average atomic mass of an element. Don't calculate atomic mass of one particular isotope. Always we have to calculate average atomic mass. So to find the relative atomic mass of hydrogen, we first calculate average atomic mass of hydrogen. The value is 1.6736 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. And we know one atomic mass unit or unified atomic mass value as 1.6605 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. So relative atomic mass of hydrogen is 1.0078 U, or approximately 1.008 unified atomic mass or atomic mass unit. So we relate average atomic mass of an element to the unified atomic mass. This is called a relative atomic mass. Always calculate average atomic mass. How to calculate average atomic mass? When you consider an element, it will exist in different isotopic forms. Consider chlorine. Chlorine element will exist in two isotopic forms, chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. So when we calculate atomic mass, chlorine 35 will have a mass and chlorine 37 will have a mass. So to avoid the confusion, always we need average atomic mass value. You just take the average for the atomic mass values of chlorine 35 and chlorine 37 with the help of their abundance. So when you take chlorine 35, its abundance is 77%. So atomic mass 35, this is mass number, approximate atomic mass 35. So this is the simplest way to find the atomic mass. Mass number can be used, not an exact value, an approximate value. So approximately atomic mass of chlorine 35 is 35 and its abundance is 77% out of 100. What about remaining 23%? Chlorine 37 will be there. So out of 100%, 77% chlorine 35%, remaining 23% chlorine 37%. Chlorine 37%. So chlorine element exists in two isotopic forms, chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. This has abundance 77%. This has abundance 23%. So we take average. Okay, out of 100%, 77% chlorine 35, 23% chlorine 37. So we calculate the average value. Average value is 35.46 unified atomic mass, approximately 35.5. So to find relative atomic mass, we always need average atomic mass. Okay. Next, two more questions. What is relative molecular mass? We already studied in 10th the relationship between vapor density and relative molecular mass. So this is also the ratio of molecular mass of a molecule to the unified atom, to the unified atomic mass. So this is called the relative molecular mass. Two more questions. What is relative molecular mass? You just calculate molecular mass of a molecule. You just relate it with unified atomic mass. The final value is relative molecular mass. Okay, how can we calculate molecular mass? You take water. We have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. What is the atomic mass of hydrogen? 1.008. Atomic mass of oxygen 16. So this is relative molecular mass of water. So the way to calculate molecular masses, add atomic masses of all the atoms present in the molecule. Hydrogen atomic mass plus oxygen atomic mass. You just add it, you will get relative molecular mass. One more example. Glucose C6H12O6. We have 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, 6 oxygen atoms. We know the atomic mass of carbon 12 isotope, 12 AMU. We know the relative atomic mass of hydrogen as 1.008, oxygen 16. So relative molecular mass of glucose is approximately 180. So unit will be the same, unified atomic mass, because we relate this with unified atomic mass. So today we have completed classification of matter, what is atomic mass and relative atomic mass, what is molecular mass and relative molecular mass, how to calculate molecular mass of a molecule. So all this we have completed. Tomorrow we will teach mole concept. Thank you.